And I believe we are live. All right. Episode 7 of this podcast. Today we got Bo Cephas, as they call him, or Kevin Allen when he's in trouble. Bo, how you doing, buddy?
Good.
Good. Do you do anything on this nasty rainy day?
Not really.
Not really. Stayed in the house, played video games most of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Bo Ravenstein is our guest. Bo, how old are you?
I'm 10 years old.
10 years old. And you actually derby at our youth shows. How many times you ran a car?
I think 3 times.
3 times?
Yep.
Okay, so have you been 10 since you started, or when you started was you 9, or?
I think I was 9 when I started, and I turned 10.
Okay. Well, the last time you ran the snowball derby, correct? The winter one. I tell you, you was out there. You had your little arm up on your oh shit handle, and man, you was driving like you actually knew what you was doing. So for only 3 times, man, you have come a really, really long way. And I tell you, it's an honor to have you out there, Bo. I was there when you was born, and I'm watching you grow into a fine young man in the derby career and whatnot, and it's all amazing, for sure. So the question that I usually ask everybody: why demolition derby? Out of everything you could have done, why'd you pick demolition derby?
Well, all the other sports take 1 ball.
He done broke the internet. He broke the internet.
And demolition derby takes 2 balls.
Oh, I love you. I love it. Do you own that shirt? Yeah, you got that shirt? Oh, that is awesome. I don't even know where I'm going to go from there. You are your father's child, for sure. Oh man. So what kind of cars you like running?
Camrys. Toyota Camrys.
Toyota Camrys. Have you ran anything other than a Camry?
No.
Yeah, just the Camrys. Okay. If you could pick one car out of any cars, just one car, whether it be to derby it or whether or not to drive it every day, or what is your absolute, that one car that you just have to have?
Probably like a Vic wagon to drive to school and put a Dukes of Hazzard's horn in it.
Oh man, if this don't go viral, Bo, I don't know what will. A Crown Vic wagon. So you what? That's a Ford product though, right? And as far as I know your papa real well, and he's always been a Chevy guy, and your mom and dad are Chevy people. And do you think that might cause problems at home if you're driving a Ford around, especially with a Dukes of Hazzard or whatever it is?
No.
A Crown Vic wagon with a Dukes of Hazzard horn. Oh, that's good. Oh, this. I just can't stop laughing. Like, oh, this is awesome, man. You done threw me off my seat. Like, um. So, I mean, being so young, 9 years old when you first started, 10 years old now. Do you get nervous or a little scared when you go out there to participate? And tell us a little bit of how that actually works. Do you have like a ritual you go through, or?
Well, it's usually like the youth class goes first, and when we're pulling out on the track, I usually get a little bit nervous.
Yeah. Yeah, and I tell you that was one of the things that I think kept bringing me back, like the butterflies and stuff like that, and you could feel it in your stomach. You're rolling out there, and it's like, oh, and then the adrenaline's rushing through, and then it seems like as soon as you make that first little hit, every bit of the butterflies go away, and then it's just time to get rowdy then.
Mhm.
Do you have like a favorite shirt that you like to wear, or a certain pair of underwear that you only wear when you go to derbying or whatnot? Because you've had really good luck.
No.
No. What'd you get? You got, was it third or fourth at the Snowball Bash?
I got fourth.
Fourth? And then the time before that out at Gaston, I'm almost positive you got second, didn't you?
My first derby I got second at Gaston. And then the one I got like fifth or sixth, I think.
Yeah. I think that was the one you broke lower ball joints or something. I remember I seen you out there trying to rock the car back and forth and get it going, and she wouldn't go for you. It's definitely heartbreaking to watch the little ones out there and stuff happens to them, and you're like, you wish you could help them, but that's the name of the game. So
yeah.
Another question that I like asking everybody is, what is and of course, only being 3 derbies, it should come pretty easy to you. What about the hardest you've ever been hit, or the hardest you've ever hit anybody? When I say that, let's hear a story about what comes to mind right off the bat.
The hardest I've ever been hit was probably that derby I got like fifth or sixth. I got hit in the the door, and I got hit so hard in the door my leg went over the shifter.
Whoa.
And then probably that me and Danny built their hit.
Yeah.
And her helmet came off.
I remember that hit. It was like a keg of dynamite went off. And it wasn't, you guys wasn't going after each other. You guys was both trying to turn around at the same time around a dead car, and it was like, boom! Yeah, and her helmet come flying off, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, that was... If I did give a Reaper award, I would have had to probably split it between the two of you for that hit, because that was probably the absolute hardest hit of the night, period. I mean, you guys hit each other a ton. Oh, Lordy. So, you said you just run Camrys. Have you thought about possibly trying any of the W bodies or any of the Hondas or anything like that? Is there anything that you would like to try? But
yeah, I would like to try W bodies or Illumina.
Yeah, a lot of people like the Luminas. Here recently, the Camrys have just been completely taking over, and it seems like everybody wants to run a Camry nowadays, and man, it is really driving the price just through the roof. But so you'd like to try a W body. Your best memory of a demolition derby. Now, not necessarily where you was actually derbying, or if something you can remember when you was a little kid at a derby, or something of that effect.
Probably when I went to Dead Man, when you and Deuce derbied, and Deuce laid that one dude's door over.
Yeah, you talking about the guy that wanted to work with Deuce? He pointed at Deuce and then pointed over at me, and then gave Deuce a thumbs up, and Deuce thought he meant he was coming after me, and he was coming after Deuce, and man, Deuce ended up getting the Reaper Award that night, putting it on that old boy. And the whole time Deuce really wanted, he wanted to work with Deuce, and Deuce just didn't get the memo, so. All right, Bo, we're going to do a few questions here from the chat. Sean Carroll said, "You're amazing." I tell you,
Thank you.
Starting right off the bat with the 2 balls instead of 1, that a little smart aleck. Your dad said, "That's my boy." Stephen Hargis said, "Definitely Kevin in the making." I tell you, like I said, watching you the last derby at the Snowball Bash, you're from the looks anyways, you looked so comfortable in that car, and just, like I said, arm up on the oh shit handle, and you was doing exactly what you needed to do to stay out of trouble. And I tell you, if I was a betting man, you would have had some bets from me that night, but you end up losing, a transmission or something. The transmission lost reverse, and you got stuck against a dead car or something. It was, man, just so close. But I tell you what, buddy, if you stick with it, and you keep the same mentality you got, it will come. I promise you that. It will come. Kevin Conley said, "Hi to all." I can't even read that. Yeah, something said, "Bo is the man." Brian Smith said, "Good to see you, Bo." Uh-oh, now your dad's throwing you underneath the bus here. He said, "Ask him about that nervous finger." What's going on with the nervous finger?
He asked me how nervous I was, and I went like that, but my hands were shaking a little bit.
I'm just a little bit. Yeah. So that meant you was getting less nervous, and then more nervous, less nervous. So it was kind of fluctuating, is what you're saying, right? That's the game plan. That's what we're sticking to for sure. Amy Sattler said, "Is that Kevin's boy?" Yeah, I mean, other than, he's a lot better looking than his dad. I mean, of course, the attitude, you couldn't automatically tell that was little Kevin there. Oh, Rowdy Burns said, Bo's ready for his dad to build him a 2-door Lincoln. What's that about? I keep hearing about these 2-door Lincolns on that Beam NG Drive. You play that quite a bit, don't you? Yeah.
I think in real life they're really cool cars.
Yeah, the 2-door Lincolns. We've tore up our fair share of Lincolns for sure. I always wanted to try out one of them, the football window Lincolns. I never did get a chance to get my hands on one of them, but it is what it is. Let's see here. Smalley said Bo's going to be a terror in the big boy class one day. I can see that. I can really, really see that. I tell you, like I said, and I hate to sound like a broken record, but going back to the last Derby at the fall, man, I guess we haven't talked about it, but what was going through your head while you was out there? Because you look so comfortable.
I wanted to win that Derby, but I lost reverse and got stuck on a dead car. But I wanted to take it slow until the last 3 or 4 cars.
Right. Well, you definitely put on a driving clinic, and man, I thought you had it. I really did. But I mean, you can have the best of the best of equipment or whatever, and if you don't have luck on your side that night, man, it is really hard to finish in the winner's circle. And sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. But you was definitely driving the way you should have been driving. You wasn't out there just absolutely trying to kill any and every car that you come across and whatnot. And you was doing what needed to be done for sure. Sean Carroll said, we've all had them shaking fingers trying to play it off like we didn't. just a little nervous and a little less, a little more, a little less. Your dad's typing in again. He's giving me all this dirt on you here. It says Bo has a nickname on Twister Tuesdays. He goes out and runs wide open. Got the name Bad News Bo. Now that's on that BeamNG drive. How many hours you think you play that game?
That's a good question.
Okay. If your mom is not paying attention to this podcast, do you spend more time on BeamNG Drive than you do on homework?
Yeah.
At least you're not a liar.
Definitely, I do.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Oh. This Peyotic Cactus 420, it says, Dawson, does Bo have any interest in the C3 class? You know that?
Yeah.
You like that class, do you? Well, I tell you, I really like watching it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to go out there because as soon as I say go, them guys, they're nuts. They are nuts out there. Like, they're just going absolutely crazy, and some of the minivans out there, like the whole backs of them will be all smashed in. The wheels ain't even on the ground no more, and they're still moving. Like, I don't know how that's possible, but minivans are pretty mean. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
So if you had to pick one between a minivan or a mini truck or like an SUV, what would you take to the C3 class?
Probably a minivan.
Minivan. Well, you definitely have to take out that some of them, which I just found out here recently. Some of them have an airbag that's right by your private parts. And there was a guy out there at Gaston this year that went out there and he stripped the van all down, but this airbag is like tucked up around the steering column, so you really can't even see it. And he made one really good hit, and the airbag went off, and it hit his boys pretty hard, hard enough where he couldn't hardly walk and he had to get in the ambulance, but he made a full recovery. So if you decide to get a minivan, you make sure you take out that airbag that's right there by your manhood, okay? We don't need you sounding like no mouse out there, high pitched and. Brian Smith says the Mark V, my favorite derby car, or the Stinkin' Lincoln. I think that's the ones that have the oval window in the back. Uh-oh. It says Laura Murphy. Your mom is watching. Now you're probably in trouble. She said he does. It's a battle every night to get him off the game and to do the homework. I probably just made it worse for you, didn't I? Now she's going to be yelling and making sure she ain't sneaking up behind you. She's going to choke you or something. I was one of them people too. I never liked to do homework either, and I would much rather do anything and everything to get out of homework and go to the garage and turn wrenches and whatnot, and I didn't end up too bad. You know what I mean?
Now you would rather play the game than turn wrenches.
Oh, now my wife's yelling at me. See, don't ever get married. It's not worth it. Uh-oh. Oh, she said, Kevin, it's Lillian. Lillian Lyons, do you know that name? Or is she talking to your dad? That's not like a girlfriend or something, is it? Do you have a girlfriend?
No.
Should we pry into that kind of stuff? Huh?
No, I don't have one.
Nope, no girlfriend? You ain't got nothing in your scope that you're looking at school, like? No. Well, do girls have cooties still? No. Okay.
Focusing on derby cars.
I can't blame you there, man. I can't blame you there. Girls usually take time away from the garage unless you get a really good one, and then they'll come to the garage with you. So.
Are you trying to suck up?
I'm not trying to suck up. Listen to her, see? Amy Sadler says the Mark V's look amazing when they're done right. I've seen them really compete and do pretty good. Stephen Hargis, do you drive your own way on the track, or do you take your dad's advice? That is a really good question.
Probably, I try to take my own way, but like, if there's something like wheel shots, he always tells me to try to do wheel shots, and I always try to do them.
Yeah. But other than that, anything that he tells you, you just kind of do your own thing out there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can tell you, your daddy has a problem with his right foot. I think it's like 10 pounds heavier. So when he gets in there, like sometimes, like I don't know if his shoe gets stuck in the gas pedal or what the deal is, but we can go out there with a game plan, and he doesn't follow the game plan. He goes out there and he just makes junk really quick, and then we got to fix it. So you have definitely showed that you have the footwork to keep off of the gas. That is 100% true right there. Let's see. Oh, your dad said, my favorite memory of Bo is him in my lap pretending to drive and asking his mom if he has M&Ms. What's that about?
So yeah, I was sitting, I was really little, and I was sitting in my dad's lap, and I was acting like I was driving it, and my mom came in the garage, and she pulled out something, but I didn't know what it was yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I stared at her for a couple seconds, and then I asked her, I was like, "Hey, you got M&Ms?" That's how I said it too.
Is M&M's your favorite candy?
Not really.
Not really. You just wanted anything that was candy, though. Yeah. Brian Smith says it's not a derby question, but will we ever see Bo in a circle track car someday to follow in Papaw and Dad's footsteps? Do you ever think that you might get into racing?
Maybe, and maybe not.
I tell you, your Papa and your dad have spent a lot of money to make them cars what they are, and they got really fast race cars. Me personally, I just never, I never had a need for speed, I guess. That and I like wrecking things. So when I go out there and I wreck a derby car, I know I'm going to do it on purpose. Now, if I go out there and wreck one of them race cars, I mean, we're talking tens and thousands of dollars in these cars, and like, I wouldn't even want to scratch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've never really got into racing, but maybe someday when I get older, you know. Let's see here. Lillian Lyons says it's Piper Lyons' cousin. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah.
Okay. He knows who you are now, Lillian. Todd Builder said, yeah, that was the hardest hit. Oh, in parentheses, Danny. So Danny's watching. She definitely agrees that was probably the hardest hit of her career too, when you guys come around them cars and make contact. Sean Carroll says, I remember my first conversation with Bo. He was in Kevin's garage getting some 9-wire, and Bo was giving me tips and trick on my car. Wait, you giving away all the secrets that you're learning inside the garage, are we?
Maybe.
Maybe. All right. I got my pen. I got my paper here. How do you make them Camrys so hard in the front? What's the secret? Well, don't clam up now. You're giving Sean Carroll some tips. You got to give me some tips.
I don't know.
All right, he's pleading the fifth on me. Danny said, you're doing a good job, Bo. I think you're doing an amazing job on the podcast. Your derby career. I mean, if you would call it a career, it's definitely only been out 3 times, and you're already making a name for yourself. And then here we are. You know, I mean, I'm not saying this is a huge platform, but you know, it's definitely. We get a lot of people that come and look and watch our podcast and whatnot, and all these people, you know, they're all going to get to watch you and be like, hey, look at that kid there, so yeah, most definitely thank you for coming on and helping us out here. Poetic Cactus again said, just don't be like me and cut the seatbelt out and not realize it until it's time to line up.
That's not.
You wear a seatbelt in your car, don't you?
Yeah.
Now I know your dad for the longest time he didn't like wearing seatbelts, and the same thing with my dad. He didn't like wearing seatbelts. Well, I had a car one time that was a pre-ran, and we went over to Anderson Speedway, and no seatbelts in this thing. And I ended up getting hit in the passenger side, and I fell out of the driver's seat And I remember after I hit my head and everything on the floor, like I opened my eyes, you know that big round thing that's right underneath the passenger seat and driver's seat? It's like a drain plug. Well, that was knocked out, and I could see grass underneath it, and I was like, what the heck is going on? And then about that time again, I get hit again, and I'm kind of like coming back around like, what is going on? And the whole time, the front of the car was pushed up real high, and the pedal was stuck wide open. So here I am laying on the floor, looking through a little hole, and the car's doing donuts in the middle of Anderson Speedway. And everybody was like, oh, that was just the craziest thing ever. Like, I can't believe you done this and that. I didn't do anything. I got knocked out of my seat. The car was driving itself, so. But yeah, it's definitely good to wear a seatbelt. Some of them guys, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they hang on. John Ebright said, hello all. Howdy, John. Harrison Smith, which is another one of our youth drivers. He said, what's up, Bo?
Nothing.
So, he's just hanging out with us on the podcast, you know. Supposed to be doing his homework, but instead of doing homework, we're on here just gabbing about Demolition Derby, and it is what it is. Uh-oh, your dad just chimed in again. He said, I have a question for my kid. What has been the coolest car to ever come out of your garage? The coolest car.
Coolest car to ever come out of my garage? Probably his Impala.
His Impala?
Yeah.
The big old brown one. He ended up painting red doors on it, and
Didn't that come out of our garage?
he actually had his number 81 real big on the side of it for the longest time, and was actually driving around town with that thing like that. And then he ended up getting some rust primer red and covered it up. But and a funny story too that some people might not know. Your older bulldog that you guys used to have, Capone. He was Capone was in the back seat, and me and your dad are driving around. I can't remember what we was doing. We might have been looking for cars or something like that. And all of a sudden it was like, what is that smell? And looked back there, and Capone had taken a dump on the back seat. And we had to roll the windows down, and it was just. He had to go though. He had to go. That was man. He was a really good dog, man. I really miss that dog. You know, he absolutely loved Demolition Derby too. You know, he would come to the derbies with you guys, and your mom had him a little derby shirt and everything, and he was a really cool dog. Uh-oh, now your mom's typing in. She said, ask Bo who his favorite flagman is. Now you better choose wisely, okay? Because your mom helps with the paperwork and she holds a flag. So you better choose wisely. Think about this before you just open up and say blah 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 blah. Your mother has a flag. So who's your favorite flagman out there?
How many can I pick?
If you got a bunch of favorites, you just say it, man.
Well, my mom and you.
Your mom and me. How come you like me? Because usually I'm the bad guy. I'm the one that tells you your time is expired, or in your sister's case, her time hadn't expired yet, and she was actually, I think she had a broken axle or something, and she was over there and she held the pedal all the way to the floor. And I come across the radio and I was like, hey Laura, I don't think she's going to be able to move, but she's got this motor wide open. Do you want me to tell her to turn it off before she blows it up, or let her blow it up? I hate to tell people that they have, that they're out, but it's part of the game. So I'm usually the guy that's the bearer of bad news. I can't believe you even picked me. Now, we got a team show coming up April 1st and 2nd. I've heard some rumors that your dad might be running in that. In the team show, you think, are you part of the team? You gonna set this one out at the team show and wait for the fair show to come around, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna set this one out.
You gonna set it out? You just ain't ready to go and beat up on the old men yet? No?
Nope.
Well, you know, that happened at what was it, the Muncie Wednesday night, I believe. I had like 6 of the youth drivers go over to the adult class, and they end up winning. 6?
3 and 3.
3 and 3? Okay. 3 and 3 what?
3 adults, 3 youth.
Okay. But they end up, I believe they end up finishing 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. All the youth. They just cleaned house. It was that youth class, I tell you, it's not really easy out there for the youth drivers. We got a bunch of kids, and it's probably one of my favorite classes by far to watch. You all are getting seat time, and you're learning the ins and outs, and it's funny to see you guys make the mistakes that, you know, that I've made back in my day, and it's a big learning experience, and it's just a really good time watching you guys out there running, and I love it. I just absolutely love it, you know. And a lot of people have asked me, well, how come you don't give a Mad Dog Award for the kids? Now, I think that I don't want a bunch of kids out there trying their hardest to make the hardest hit that they can. I want them out there to just have fun and get a bunch of seat time, and prepare them that when the time comes that they move up to the adult class, I'm making you guys a bunch of monsters out there. Now, would you like to see the kids class actually have a Reaper Award?
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys just like the trophy, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'll well, just for you, Bo, I will take it in consideration. All right. That's not a definite yes or no, but I'll take it into consideration. Uh-oh. Now Stephen Hargis just asked a question. Your sister's not around you, is she?
No.
Okay, so she's not like within arm reach where she can hit you or anything? Okay. Because Stephen Hargis said, who is better, you or your sister? He's looking out of the corner of his eye to make sure she's not coming out of the bedroom, you know, with a frying pan or something to hit him.
She's definitely placed more than I have. I don't know. We're both pretty. Where she's really good. Probably her, since she's placed more.
Yeah. Well, she's a little older than you two. This is what, her last year of being able to run with the youth, and then she's got to go up to the adult class. Have you ever, when you're out there, I've talked to my kids about it too, and I've got his, you know, perspective on it. Does it make you mad when someone hits your sister and you see it and you're like, ooh, I'm gonna get you back? Yes and
not
no?
Really.
Not really. Oh, not
Yeah.
really. Okay. Have you and your sister ever fought and been in an argument before a derby, and you thought, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to hit her?
Yeah.
Just dead honest, ladies and gentlemen. Dead honest. Oh, I love it. I love it. It's Sean Carroll here. That Wednesday sucked for me. I got beat up on. Oh, Sean Carroll saying he got beat up on that Wednesday at Delaware County. Harrison Smith said, Bo, if there was a youth full size, would you want to run in it?
Yeah.
A youth full size? What kind of car you think you'd want to have for that?
Probably like a Lincoln or an Impala.
A Lincoln or an Impala? How come not? Why not the Crown Vic wagon? Or you just want to drive it? You don't want to derby it?
If I ever got a Vic wagon, I would want to like keep it real clean.
Possibly redo it. And now would you, I know some kids, would you put big rims on it that's real flashy, or would you just keep it stock?
I'd keep it stock.
Keep it stock. Probably do a little bit of motor work to it so it would run real fast. And
yeah.
I got you. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. He said that even if he had a Crown Vic, he would save it. You've got more will than me, because I've had some really clean cars. Like I bought a Lincoln one time. It was like a 95 Lincoln or something like that, and all it needed was a transmission. I bought the car really cheap, and we get it home, and I was like, man, you know, I could probably put a transmission in this thing and turn around and sell it for, you know, $2,000-$3,000. It was really clean. Me and your dad end up stripping it out, and I derbied it instead. So it's which I do have, which you've rode in it. I do have that 72 Kingswood Roundback now. It's definitely not a derby car. I got way too much money in it, but it's it just, when you drive it, everybody looks at you like, oh my God, who are they, and where did they find that car? I like that kind of attention when you're driving by someone, or when we went to the gas station, and I believe he was with me. We went to the gas station, and that old man come over and said, I used to drive one of them to school, and I was like, okay. So let's see here. Jathan Reader, if you put a Reaper in, all the drivers will be destroying their rear end. I don't know. Do you think if I offered a Reaper award for the kids class, do you think the kids could possibly drive any harder than what they do already? Because that class is pretty fast paced. Do you think they could get any crazier?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. Okay, so you guys could get a little crazier. And the thing with having the youth class, I always want to have the youth class very first, and I know some of you don't really care for that. You want to run later in the day, and by right, you guys could probably be a main event, just because so many people like watching you, and the shows that you guys put on. My thought is when you go out there and you're very first, I can make the track super wet and sloppy, so you guys are not like getting around super fast. But of course, you know, 90% of you got them really nice tractor tires and whatnot, and you get around anyways. And would you, if it was up to change, what order would you want the kids class? Do you like it running first, or would you want it later in the day?
First.
You want to run it first? And I think that helps too. Just, you know, if the kids run first, and then like say your car's not completely destroyed, and then your dad can drive it or your cousin can drive it in the adult class, and you still have time to fix it and whatnot. And I think it works out a little bit there. I know some kids, they want to wait and later in the night and not be first out of the gun, but it is what it is. Oh, your dad's texting or messaging here. He said, so we're having a full-size youth class. I just picked up a Buick Riviera. That could be Bo's first car. I would say it's not a definite no that we wouldn't have a youth full-size. If I get enough interested in a youth full-size, we could possibly go that way. But as far as promoting it right this second, I can't do that. I can't do that. That would be, we'd have to write rules for it, because I definitely don't want the kids running the full-size rules that we have now. It's a bit much, I believe. So, let's see here. Oh, Deuce is chiming in. He said, come on, Grizz, give him the Lincoln. You got a Lincoln over there, do you? No?
Nope.
No Lincoln? Yeah, well, I heard your dad has your favorite car, the Crown Vic wagon. I heard he has one of them. And I heard he has a 98-02 that he's planning on building to bring to the team show. I'm going to have to come snooping out by your house and taking a look, make sure you ain't cheating.
We're not cheating.
Your dad said, I like my old iron. He does. He likes... Your dad was always one that liked Chryslers, too. I'm surprised he hasn't tried to push that off on you. Chrysler this, Chrysler that. But the Chryslers, I tell you, they're pretty hard in the front ends. Your dad had a lot of success in them. Brian Smith says, I'm super excited for this season. Looking forward to watching Bo and the rest of your youth drivers put on an awesome show. Most definitely. You know, the kids class is it's definitely near and dear to my heart, which last year I kind of upped the pay a little bit in the kids class, but on the other hand, I don't want to throw a whole $1,000, $1,500 to win, even though it'd be really nice if you could win that. But I want to keep that class like a low maintenance entry class, instead of anybody and everybody that falls in the age group that wants to come over there and just clean house, which that's definitely not happened. We've had a lot of kids come and run and whatnot, and it usually gets mixed up where everybody's beating on everybody. So, and we've had some really nice cars out there that was competing with you guys all at once. And oh, I just lost all the light behind me. Let's see here. Smalley says, Kevin brings the old iron and I'll bring the 03 and newer. That's Smalley. I think Smalley plays with you guys, doesn't he, on that BeamNG drive?
Yeah.
I gotcha. And then Amy Sattler says she'll bring the Box Vic and Pizza King. That's fine. And then Cole Sattler says, I think Cole Sattler's coleslaw, is he not?
Yeah.
Okay. So you got all your fan club in here. They're all here watching you and having a good old time here. Rowdy Burns said, shocker this shocker. That is all Kevin says on Beam. Oh lordy. And then and then Deuce. The only thing, that's only if he ain't getting the corn dogs. What does that mean to you? Are they trash talking you on here? Are they trying to throw you off your pedestal or what? What's going on here?
I don't know. They always talk about corn dogs on here.
They always talk about corn dogs, huh? Well,
Yeah.
well, they're all sitting there watching you. Is there anything you want to say to all of them? Because now's your chance. You could trash talk, right? You could trash talk about the BeamNG drive game a little bit and tell them, that they all need to go to driving school. Because I heard you're a pretty good competitor on there.
Kinda.
Yeah, kinda. Would if I ask you to make your motor sound, would you? Okay, I won't ask you then. That's an inside joke. I guess he was. What was you? He was talking to your dad about something about a new motor on the game or something, and you tried to imitate the motor, and he thought it was funny, and some of the guys on there was like, oh yeah, his motor's broken or something, and they've been giving you a hard time about it, haven't they? Yeah, them big jerks. Cole said, corn dog Kevin. Oh, so I think they call your dad corn dog. That might be it. I don't know.
That was his name at one time on here.
Oh, that was actually your dad's name on there. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I got you. Smalley said his father loves corn dogs, but we're here for the bad news Bo. Huh? See? Bad news Bo. So you like that name, do you?
Yeah.
Bad news Bo. Well, Mr. Smith, I know you're still in here. Hopefully you're still in here. Write that down. We're going to announce this young man as Bad News Bo Ravenstein now. I'm going to make a note of that. I kind of like that name. It has a ring to it for sure. Your dad said, Burgess, you need to get me a plane ticket, and we'll bring Rowdy Burns in from Wyoming so he can derby in a real show. Rowdy, is that the one that lives in the sand or something?
Yeah.
Said he
I
lives
think
in,
Wyoming.
but they call it. They say he looks like he lives in Afghanistan or something like that. I don't know. You guys, I've been in them chat rooms a couple times before. I don't know a whole lot of them, but I hear you guys cracking on each other and whatnot and cutting up, and it's a good time for sure. Alrighty. Well, Bo, it's almost been an hour, buddy. We got 8 minutes left. We like to cut these things a little